Well, I've always felt that part of what I would want to do myself personally in life is make sure that I spend some of my time helping other people who are less fortunate.
It really goes down to lawyers wanting to be good citizens.
This is helping people every day who really need help.
Pro bono work benefits the community in a variety of ways. Our commitment to pro bono goes back almost the entire history of the firm. This is part of the DNA of the firm. And I think it also arises out of the fact that while many of us spend most of our professional days dealing with large enterprises, ultimately we became lawyers because values like justice and equality and fairness mattered to us, and the defense of the individual mattered to us. And it really is an opportunity for us to bring those abstract principles into the real lives of real people.
I think pro bono is important in a major law firm for several reasons. One, we have a major professional responsibility obligation. We're part of a profession which is committed to ensuring as best we can equal access to the law to everyone. Secondly, the programs that we serve and work with have desperate needs, particularly in these tougher economic times, and they need the kinds of resources that a major firm can bring. Proskauer has focused on this and devoted major resources to pro bono work and the pro bono initiative because we want to demonstrate that you can do well by doing good.
We had, over a period of years, gone through an enormous expansion of the various practices of the firm. We expanded enormously into the international arena. We opened new offices in the major markets of the world. We increased our practice infrastructure and thought that it was time to do the same with respect to our pro bono representation, to create appropriate infrastructure, to treat pro bono as a significant practice group within the firm with all of the resources that a practice group required. At the same time, we thought it was an extraordinary opportunity to provide interesting and exciting training for our young lawyers.
Pro bono work and public interest work is a chance to blend your personal values and your professional skills and to make a difference on behalf of people who without you have no one. In addition, in a law firm, it's a terrific opportunity for younger lawyers and partners to themselves handle cases, get training and experience and development that they're not going to get in any other way. This is an opportunity for you to test yourself, to represent people, to develop your professional skills, and also make a difference in somebody's life, and maybe even with a broader impact in terms of society itself.
We had last year over 650 active pro bono cases. We have such a breadth and depth of a pro bono practice that I think we're all very proud here. The opportunities for junior lawyers, summer associates, first-year associates, up to senior lawyers to participate in programs, including some of our signature projects in terms of the Iraqi Human Rights Project, our election protection efforts, all the domestic violence initiatives that we participate in. We have a 20-plus year death penalty case, all of our transactional in terms of the nonprofit corporate work that's made available, working with micro-entrepreneurs, housing matters, disability benefits. The breadth and depth is enormous.
The purpose of the project is to relocate Iraqi translators, drivers, logisticians, those who served with our military, our State Department, our contractors in support of U.S. efforts in Iraq, and to find them safe haven because they're considered traitors for having collaborated with the United States during our time in country. I spent close to 3 years in Iraq, and we were responsible for assisting and advising the Iraqis with trials of members of the former regime for genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity. And during my time there, one of my translators was murdered outside of his house while coming to work. Multiple of my translators were threatened. One of them was kidnapped. For me personally, it's the fulfillment of personal debt of obligation I feel to those who worked with me. You know, I had the privilege and honor of not only working with our U.S. military, our U.S. State Department, but those Iraqis who, for whatever reason, mostly for the simple sense that they wanted to make their own country better, that they believed in the ideals that we espoused when we entered the country, that we were going to remove Saddam and help make their country a better place than what it was previously, and who risked their own lives. At its height, we had over 80 attorneys, paralegal, and staff, with hundreds and hundreds of Iraqis. At this point right now, we've successfully relocated over 400 individuals who served, again, directly with our military, directly with our State Department, directly with our contractors, and relocated them from Iraq to the United States.
And the Social Security Administration was following a new statute. The statute says that people who are on parole or have violated parole would have their Social Security benefits forfeited. But what the Social Security Administration was doing was not really conducting an inquiry as to whether the person really had violated parole, but was relying on the fact that a warrant had been issued by a judge calling them into court on the grounds that they had violated parole. And the whole premise of the lawsuit, which several nonprofit groups had been investigating, was that that was not a sufficient basis on which to make that determination. Our first effort to persuade the district judge that this was wrong in the context of a preliminary injunction motion was unsuccessful. We appealed it, and it was reversed in the Second Circuit. And then subsequently, the government, in an unusual move on their part, decided to change their policy on a nationwide basis. The Social Security Administration often will only change their policy in a limited jurisdiction where the case came down, but in this case, they changed it throughout the country. So it was really a great victory and something we're very proud of.
You start off by having to tell the jury, this person who stands before you has been convicted of first-degree murder. You're not going to question that conviction. You're not going to have anything to say about whether that conviction is right or wrong. All you're going to decide, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is whether he should be executed or get a life sentence instead. We first became involved in representing J.B. Parker, who is an inmate on death row in Florida, in the summer of 1987. A young associate and I fly down to Florida to meet with Mr. Parker. We walk into a room. Here we are, lawyers from New York. He has rather had some very difficult experiences with lawyers because lawyers in the past have not served him well. And to say the least, he's somewhat skeptical of our ability to represent him effectively. But we did what we needed to do to really master the case and start working with him. And getting to know Mr. Parker over the course of this representation has been a very rewarding personal and professional experience. We've been representing Mr. Parker now for more than 24 years. I've been the principal lawyer on the case since the beginning. So it's not a question of why have we persevered, it's a question of course, we were going to continue, once having started down this road, doing everything we could. We made the commitment from the beginning, and I've always repeated to the client on numerous occasions, we're here. We're going to see this to the end, JB, and hopefully that will result in something other than a death sentence.
That's the beauty of dealing in the pro bono arena, is that it allows us to go beyond our professional capacity, beyond what it is that we do day in and day out for our clients, and have true, meaningful impact on someone else. I would hope that our pro bono program will continue to grow, will encompass more and more lawyers at every stage of their careers, from our newest associates to our most senior partners.
I think that's the test of a great firm. Can we demonstrate that we can be an outstanding corporation, outstanding business, but also a very responsible member of our profession? We can be very proud that we are not only still standing and growing, having had a major impact in many areas, but believing that the best is yet to come.
Every lawyer derives a benefit from almost any matter he or she may deal with, whether it's pro bono or for a paying client. But I think particularly with pro bono work, and particularly for our youngest and most junior lawyers, The ability to deal with real people, the ability to make an impact on a real life, not through a multi-year litigation process or a multi-month deal process, but through any of the array of areas in which we help people, whether it's making sure that a criminal proceeding is tried fairly, that a sentence is proportional, that housing is afforded to those who need it and not taken away from those who deserve it, that child custody matters are handled properly. Those are matters where one can see an immediate result from one's work, and I think that adds to the training and the sense of personal satisfaction of each lawyer when he takes those matters.